quien. Hoy, en esta edición de NerdZoom, Ernesto Garratt habla con la dibujante Emil Ferris.
Hi, Emil. Do you listen to me?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. A pleasure and honor. Nice to meet you, and welcome to our chat and interview. My name is Ernesto.
Love to meet you, Ernesto.
A great honor to meet you.
You as well.
How are you?
I don't know. How are you?
Excited. Talking to you is a very great news for me. I am rereading your work. It's fantastic.
That's so sweet of you.
It's a great job.
That's very nice of you to be rereading it.
Thank you. Trying to find some little details, and it's fantastic. We are talking with Emil Ferris, the author of My Favorite Things is Monsters, a wonderful graphic novel, winner of, among other awards, the Eisner, the very well-known Eisner Prize. Is for Chilean people is like talking about the Oscar among world of comic books. It's like talking with one of the best artists right now in North America.
Oh, that's nice.
Emil, I want to know why. My first question is why did you pick up this werewolf girl in order to describe the protagonist in your beautiful work?
She's me. I mean, she's who I always was.
You felt as a child like a werewolf, like a strange person?
Yeah, definitely. Like a creature, a monster. I felt like a monster, and I kind of was a monster. So, which I like. I like the feeling that the monster is allowed to defy social norms. There's so much pressure on us as people in this world. Our systems put so much pressure on us. And what I love about the monster is that the only pressure is the truth, that we are all unique individuals trying to fit into a society that really is not made to welcome us. It's made to punish us for being different, but we're all different. It's madness that we do this to ourselves, or we allow it. And the monster allows us, identifying with the monster allows us to say, no thanks,
Yeah, it's like embrace a kind of liberty, and
Exactly.
follow your own will in terms of pursued happiness, for instance.
Exactly. And that's beautiful. And I think that's our birthright as human beings, is to be creative, is to find joy, is to create joy, is to experience the world in love and beauty, and to appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's our birthright.
Yeah, me too. In Chile, we are talking about rights right now. We are in a very difficult social and political moment.
Yeah.
We are talking about rights all the time. Indeed,
True. It's true.
That's my issue right now among friends, among family, because
sure, absolutely.
I think in the United States it's the same. No, you have a
very definitely, very definitely. We're having problems. I have a philosophy about it, and that is that the ghosts don't go away. The ghosts of what we did as a nation to our indigenous population, and what we did to people whose lives we destroyed by bringing them to this country and making fortunes off of their involuntary labor, and worse. those are ghosts that don't leave a country without the country being very aware of the penance. And we have been a country that's refused the penance for that treatment. And so I think the ghosts haunt us. And I think that even in the cases of the people who are still very dedicated to those ideologies of white supremacism, I think that the ghosts haunt them too. And I think they make madness in people because, well, I have a weird philosophy that we can actually see the ghosts, but we won't consciously allow ourselves to. So I think we're being driven mad by sorrows and haunting. And I think this is it's about the wound, the national wound. You know, if you receive a wound and you just sew it up, there's going to be, and forgive my saying this, there's going to be infection. And it has to be opened and the infection has to be cleaned out of it. I think that's where we're at right now. There's this incredible opportunity to open this infected wound of our history and look at it and say, no, really, let's clean this out. Let's heal this. My hope is that we do that, really. I don't know what your situation is fully, but I hope the same for you if that's required for you, you know, where you are.
Yeah, despite the difference, we are in a similar step. I'd like to ask you about the how have you learned in your life to be more and practice the empathy, you know, empathics. Because I read in an interview that when you were a child, you were in the playground, you know, alone, but you learned to tell stories.
That's right.
In order to have more friends surround you. But I think when you see a lonely person or a different person, I think maybe you are more gentle, more kind to this person, no? Or maybe not, but I want to know what did you learn about your own situation during your childhood in those terms? Or maybe no. Maybe
no, I'm thinking about it. It's a good question. It's a great question. I think I've failed so much in life. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I've failed at almost everything I ever tried to do. Truly. And this is the first thing I've ever done that I didn't fail at. If anything, I've just remained tenacious and persistent at getting up and trying again, despite all the failure. And that's the only thing I can say I did right, is that ultimately I just kept going. In regards to my childhood, that's where I really learned that we were all monsters, that everybody was somebody else's monster. Everybody is someone else's monster. And once you realize that, you realize that the only thing that's going to keep us healthy as a globe is if we learn how to forgive each other. This is a very interesting thing, especially right now, because we're being polarized. But when I look at my brothers and sisters on the right, I think I have done a very poor job of understanding why they've made those choices. I think as a nation, we've done a bad job of understanding each other. It's some of their choices are so abhorrent to me that I don't want to see why they would have made those choices, but I think ultimately it will help me. If I do that, then I'll understand, because, you know, we have 20/20 hindsight. I can't see all the ways that I'm hypocritical. I can't see all the ways that I don't understand somebody else's situation, that I haven't been sensitive to it. I think that that's important. I think that it's really important for us, instead of being angry when people fail, I think we need to be sad about the opportunity for them and for everyone who was supposed to be supporting them, wherein they failed. I think it's a different posture to take, not to kick out the failures, but to embrace them and to even weep with them. Oh my God, you failed at this. You did something even terrible. And I'm not saying that that wouldn't cause us, to restrain people who mean harm. But I think this anger we have towards each other, we're not going to get where we want to go if that's what we do. We need forgiveness. We need mercy. I require so much mercy as a human being because I screw up so much. I mean, without it, and this book is an act of mercy. The book was an act of mercy. It was an act of mercy of me towards myself, and many people who supported me showed me mercy by supporting me.
That's great. I just want to know if you can tell me how did you mess it up? I mean, what failures have you made in your life? In life, yes. I mean, everybody is.
So many ways. I look back on relationships I've had, and I realized that I was selfish. I was inconsiderate. I was I didn't see the other person. I didn't see them. I didn't see what they needed, what they were trying to do, who they were. I didn't understand. And I didn't approach people and situations. Yeah, I think it's really helpful if you say to yourself, like, just wake up one day and say, what if I was an alien who had just been put into this life? And then look around at it with very objective eyes, as objective as you can get. Like, don't assume that that's your mother, your son, your husband, your wife, whatever. Just look at them like you've never seen them before in your life. And I think that, it's important to take your life as though all of it is teaching you everything that's happening to you, everywhere you live, everyone you know, every situation that you were born with, every physical difficulty, every mental difficulty, every difficulty is a lesson for you. It's designed for you, specifically for you. It's like somebody designed school called your life that is exactly for you, and only you can be the hero in this story. Only you can do this work of living this life that you're living. And it's meant to evolve the thing that's inside of you, this spirit that you have. It's meant to teach you. It's meant to make you very strong, I think that if people approach their lives like their school and they're learning, then maybe they can take some of that self-judgment off of themselves and take the outward judgment off of others.
I think you have made a great reflection. I mean, a great speech about how we need to be more compassive with ourselves. And I want to talk to you about the value of failure. You know, it's important that idea. And also, in those terms, it's important to have this clarity. I think maybe sometimes the success is better when you are older.
Oh, that's true.
And I think
I wouldn't know, because I failed so much in my youth, Ernesto, that I have no idea what success in youth would be like. Although, knowing how stupid I personally was in my youth, I don't think it would have been a good thing. So yeah, I agree with you.
And in this issue, in this area of reflection, of trying to figure it out, how can we define success? I mean, what is success for you? Is the money? Is the fame? Is the recognition? What is for you success?
I haven't gotten super rich. I haven't. But
Yet.
no, God willing, maybe in the future. I don't think money's a bad thing. And I like the idea of having enough money that I can pay bills, because I've spent my whole life struggling. I mean, I cleaned houses for years and years. I did any form of work that I could get. So for me, it's having just enough to know that I can pay the bills. That's tremendous. To me, that feels like a victory. And I'm not going to dismiss that. I think that's what every artist should have. And personally, if I could make it that way, I know this is subversive, but I think that if every artist, and by artist, I don't just mean visual artist, I mean writer, I mean poet, I mean, you know, and to a degree, I even mean scientist. I mean, anyone who is creating, if they were supported completely, I think most of our problems would be solved. I know that sounds crazy, but I really believe that. I believe we'd change in fundamental ways. So that said, I had this woman whose name is Martine, and she sent me this absolutely beautiful scarf. And I said, why did I deserve this incredibly beautiful scarf? And she said, I was in the hospital with my mother, and she's from France. And she said, I was reading your book. This is terrible. As my mother was dying. And it was very moving to me. And she said, I'm sorry, I'm going to get a little emotional. She said, it helped me. It helped me not be in my own life. And I thought, this is so strange, you know, because, I mean, I don't want to spoil the book for anything, but you might think differently if you read the book. Why would somebody feel that they were in someone else's life when there is something very similar happening? And yet I realized the gift that I was allowed, privileged, honored to give, was that I could create a world in which people could imagine they could live inside of another life. And that's a relief. You know, Ernesto, that's a relief. You can just jump out of the groove of your own life and jump into another groove and leave behind the life you're leading for just long enough to feel these other feelings. And that's fantastic for people. And I am so honored I got to do that. That to me, I got an award from France. I got the Golden Kitty, which is their fauve d'or. And I was that was a wonderful thing to get. I mean, I was really grateful, and just, I couldn't even believe it happened to me. I still can't sometimes. I think, this stuff happened to you. But then I look at those awards and I think, that scarf, it's really valuable to me. It means it's my success, it's a sign of my success. And that's the thing that is the biggest success, I think, that I created a world people want to jump into. I'm very pleased with that.
And talking about that word, I wrote a couple of novels myself, talking about fiction world, but it's a kind of autobiographic in a way. And I want to know how autobiographic is your book in those terms, in your not graphic novel. I mean, how much of you is in this work?
Well, all of me is in that work. And I like to say these things never happened, but the story is true.
Yeah, of course, I say the same.
Yeah. Because it's true. I mean, more of what's in there is true. It's just not told in the exact way that it happened to me. I spread out the truth and I changed the characters. The characters are not the same characters. And in some ways, Karen's life is not my life. And in other ways, it's exactly my life. So that's a really strange magic, Some of what I chose to do was not make it be about me exactly. And I did that in some degree to protect relatives who would not have felt good to them,
Of course. And
yeah.
of course, but the thing that I like the most is your ability of, make this world very real, very touchable, you can smell it, you can taste it, you can live in this world, and it's fascinating. And I want to know.
You need to tell me about your novels. Like, you need to send me links. Are they translated?
Yes, I have a translation in English, but it's not published. I send you
I'd like that.
the draft. I only have in Spanish the two of them. It's curious because it's like I have a vampire in my own.
Okay.
You have a werewolf. I have a vampire.
Okay.
I want to know about this conception of doing these characters be real, be so strongly three-dimensional. For instance, the brother is so cool. The brother, it's very cool, and the idea of storytelling and art inside the story itself. The visit the museums, the paintings, the art has a main idea, as a goal, as an idea of relief. How was for you building this world, looking at the mirror of yourself, in terms of art, in terms of conception of painter? My English is so bad, but
It's really good. Don't say that. That's really good. No, it's good. My Spanish is horrible. It's beyond horrible. I could say 3 or 4 things to you and then we'd be done. And I like your Star Wars collection here.
Yeah. I'm a very big fan since a kid. I have a very, very hard childhood. Then I have the chance to watch Star Wars, and I could have a evasion.
Right.
And after reading books, of course, watching movies, drawing helped me to avoid madness.
I love that. I remember when I saw Star Wars, I saw it on the opening night at the Empire Theater.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah, in Chicago. I was 16, and it was a revelation. I'd never seen anything so wonderful in my life.
No,
I,
me neither. Look at this. This is I bought it in Toronto. It's like,
it's wonderful.
yeah, AR2. Do you remember? AR2. Do you remember? He's hungry, you know. AR2.
Oh, he says no.
Yeah, AR2. Game mode. Dance program. No.
He's
No.
not doing it. He's very real that way because he's really got his own ideas.
Yeah, of course. That I like that. And
Nope.
no, okay. Voy a apagarlo. I'm going to turn it off. But I have all these toys. I enjoy with my daughter, you know, and all that stuff. It's a great. My daughter is 5 years old, so it's okay.
Oh, you are so fortunate. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Rafaela.
Rafaela.
Okay. Rafaela.
Beautiful.
For the painter, Rafaela.
Right. Is she an artist as well?
She's musician. She has this, I don't know who's in English, oído absoluto.
A very good ear. She has a very.
She can replay any notes in piano.
Wow. Did she get that from you?
No, her mother. Her mother really? Is super talented with this musical. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah. No. Cool. We're in a nerd family.
You are an art family. You really are.
Yeah. We're trying. And what about your family? Your family, I mean, your fathers were artists also, no? Or are they both passed away, or?
No, my mother is still alive.
And they were artists, has
Yes.
you, painting and drawing all the time?
And I have a brother who's an artist as well. You know, so, yeah.
And for you, the fact of have the art nearby and the storytelling, I mean, was a good thing in your life in terms of relief, and also the movies, no, Star Wars and all that stuff.
All of it. Yeah, I'm a big popular culture nerd.
Me too.
There's so many things I love, and I mean, it wasn't very well thought of when I went to graduate school. I think a lot of people thought I was really stupid, and that was fine. I am. So I was like, don't worry, it's cool. I am stupid. And, you know, I mean, I'm your version of stupid because I love Star Wars. I love comic books. I love Mad Magazine. I love horror. I love horror novels. I love horror movies. I love all the stuff that we were supposed to not think was very good culturally. And I loved it. So.
Yeah, in the 60s, I think it was a difficult choice for a boy or a girl, you know, because you have this prejudice against comic books and all that stuff, as we can read in your book. Maybe it's better for me. Was better for me growing up in the 70s, in the 19th, in the 80s, in the 70s. Was better for me.
Probably. I mean, it was, there still is, it's weird because the movies have changed a lot of things. The movies based on comic books have changed a lot of things in the US. But I mean, prior to that, there was this sort of suspicion of comic books, which was crazy. And it was so wonderful not to find it in other places. Like you go to France, you know, I mean, you go to other countries and they never had that, which I think is great. But I think it's because, and this is where I'm going to get a little subversive, it's because comic books, I believe they're magic spells. I believe that when you stimulate both sides of the brain at the same time, via images and text, you commit an act of magic in the mind. They're much more powerful than either of those two things alone. And I think that there's a way that the people who don't want us to have certain thoughts I'm not sure who those people are, but there seem to be some,
Yeah.
because they're constantly doing things that I think, no, you know more than you're letting on. You know that if we have these things, we are going to be powerful. I wonder why. You know what I mean? I wonder why you're opposing this. I wonder why you're opposing comic books. You know what I mean? It just, to me, I think maybe that's a conspiracy theory, but to
But
me,
it's a good one.
I just have to ask. I have to say, I mean, why would you care, really? You know, why do you care so much that we don't have this, or that you make this questionable or even against the rules, you know? I don't know. There's something to that.
This is not conspiracy. My next question, but I wanna know, why did you start? After the 50, after your fifth, you were 50 years old, publishing this great material. Before that, you were working on this, or you have a different ideas? Why was that?
Well, there were some serious personal reasons why I probably didn't do it earlier. There were more than one. And when I look back on it, one of the things I saw was, like I describe, and you have a daughter, so Ernesto, you completely get this, because you can imagine you as an educated, intelligent, loving father raising a daughter at a time when you might have to tell her, you're really great at music, but you can never be the lead singer of a band. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
you could raise a daughter at that time and have to tell her that certain doors would always be closed to her. I like to talk about being in kindergarten, and I don't know if you call it kindergarten or
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember the stack of coloring pages. There was a stack for the boys and a stack for the girls. Now, the stack for the boys was really big, and the stack for the girls was much smaller. And the boys, of course, had president and lawyer and scientist and doctor and writer and all of these things that were wonderful. And the girls' stack had like 3 or 4 things. It was mother, secretary, nurse, and teacher. And that was it. That was it. There were no others. There were no pictures of girls as lawyers or women as lawyers. All of that was in the male pile. And, that's only in the late 60s, right? It's not that long ago. So, yeah, you grow up with that. And you have to learn to be, I call it survival arrogance, which is where you're arrogant because you need to be to survive. You say to yourself, which I did as a child, this seems unfair. I think I want to be something that's in that pile. And I don't think I want this teacher to tell me I can't do that. So I think that kind of was part of it. And then there were other things, there were other issues that happened to me in my life, that in a very, and I think this is the problem with growing up female, is that the system objectifies you so much that you don't kind of own your own power, because you are constantly portrayed to yourself as something you are not. That's why I like to replay the one scene in the recent Wolfman movie where he's in he's strapped in a chair in a room full of scientists who are all watching him, and he's telling them, you really need to do something. You need to get out of here. You need to get away from me. And he knows what he's going to do. He's going to pop out of that chair and he's going to savage the whole bunch of them. And I have to watch that every day. And it really, I'm sorry, but it helps me. It helps me because there's a certain rage that we as people who have born under the term woman, whatever that means, we have a certain rage because we're everything, just like everyone is everything. And yet we're always told, and even still to this day, told, well, you're only this, or we're going to look down on you if you express this emotion. Or, I mean, there's just so many strange head trips associated with having the ability to create life or be identified as a woman. It's really a bad deal, you know? It's
Yeah,
not that good a deal.
and the rage is super understandable because, you know, having all this pressure during all your life. I mean, as a woman, any woman, I mean, it's a bomb that is gonna explode finally, you know, in a way or another. And I want to know how difficult it was for you, that pressure, when you have this virus, you know, West Nile virus, and you have to learn to use your hand again, and and all that recovery process. I mean, I guess it was super difficult for you.
Well, you said something to me just now that I found interesting. You said that you had had a very difficult upbringing. And so I think you will understand what I'm going to say. You know, for me, that moment was a crucible. It was a moment where I was put in this incredible furnace, you know. It's interesting that it happened when it did. Right before it happened that I was bitten, I was taking a class in jewelry making. And literally a month before I was bitten, I was given a small piece of gold. And I was told, heat the gold up. My phone is going off. Heat the gold up. And what's going to happen, and this is what happens when you heat gold up, is that one gray tear of dross is going to cry out of this gold. And then you can't heat it for 1 second longer. You must immediately turn the heat off or you'll burn the gold and it will be of no value. And I really think that's what happened to me, is that I was in a process, and it's been it wasn't just one time, one year. It's been all of the 18 years since that bite that I've been weeping that one tear of dross. And maybe I'm still weeping it, you know.
Wow, this an amazing answer. Thank you for sharing with that honest, you know, way. Thanks so much.
I'm glad to.
Thank you. And trying to see things later, you know, with more lighter. You say lighter, no? Yeah. It's difficult to translate Spanish to English. So sorry.
No, you're doing great.
trying to get things lighter. I want to ask you about what do you think about your favorite werewolf movies, films?
Oh my gosh. Well, I do like the recent one a lot.
Benicio del Toro?
Yeah, I did like that one. I would have made him funnier.
Maybe, yes.
He needed to be, for me, I think werewolves are funny. I do. I just think, you know, if you're going to go through something that horrendous, change, that transformation, I think you have to have a sense of humor or you would kill yourself. And so I just have this feeling that if I wrote a werewolf movie, it would kind of be a comedy. Not only, it would also be horror, but there would be a funny part to it, or a lot of funny. I would want more funny, more humor.
Oh, and if you could make a werewolf movie, what character would you choose? I mean, a female character or male character?
Oh, definitely female. Definitely.
yeah, we have this lack of where women.
Come on, guys. Come on. Let's do this together. I'm your bitch. I will do this with you. I will help you realize this character very fully. She will be wonderfully funny and very dangerous. And it will be fun. Just fun.
I just you said fun. I remember this movie, John Landis movie, An American Werewolf in London. It's very. I
like
mean, I like a lot, you know, because they have this good sense of humor, no?
It's very good. That's the quality. I kind of wanted, if I were to make a movie and have it be gothic, I would also want it to have some intelligent humor in it as well. Yeah. And charm. But I like that movie too. That was another one I really liked. I was just watching the transformation scene in that one recently, and I thought, oh, this is wonderful. It's a wonderful transformation.
Yeah, because it's very physical. I mean, it's not CGI and all that digital stuff.
No, it's very beautifully done. Yeah.
And in order to talk about your book and the next book, I want to know when do you think we can see the book 2? Or my favorite things is Monsters. Do you have some plans on that, or we have to wait more?
I wish I could say something good to you about that right this minute, but there's so much up in the air right now with that. There's so many, I'm not really supposed to talk about it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. If it were up, well, I wish all you guys could just read it now. That's what I would.
Okay.
That's what I would.
And my final question is: your character Karen in the graphic novel has different heritage. You know, she has this heritage from different parts of the world. Why do you? I mean, I'm Latin American, so I have different heritage from. I mean, European, Native American, here from the South American, maybe Chinese. I'm trying to figure it out, and I love that idea, you know, of mixture. And why do you use that kind of heritage in your?
I'm really mixed. I'm a whole bunch of things. I mean, I don't think I'm Chinese at all, and I'm not Swiss or Finnish. I don't think they're, but I'm like a whole bunch of other things. So that's pretty much why, you know. I said, well, let's just make her a lot of different things like me, and so, you know, we are a lot of the same things.
That's fantastic, Emil. Emil, I want to thank you a lot for your time. Sorry the loss in translation and time. I'm not good on that kind of things. And really, I appreciate your time, your honesty, and you have a great speech. You inspire me a lot as an artist and person.
I'm glad.
If I can say it in a sweet way, I think you are my favorite monster in life.
That's very sweet.
Thank you.
Sweet.
And thank you so much. I'm super touché with your work. Super touché. And I'm gonna, if it's okay, I'm gonna send you the things that I've written in English. I hope you can enjoy them. I don't know if it's a good translation, but I think it's gonna work. And it's a simple story, but it's very realistic and has this element of fantasy. So thank you so much for your time. When I finish to write the thing and editing, I'm gonna send you the links, and you can watch some stuff. Okay?
Oh, do. I usually download anything that people send me on 2 different email platforms, and I will send you which one on which one.
Great.
So
Thank you so much.
because otherwise things get, I do it on 2 different computers because so much comes to me that I have to keep it separate. And I also have some problems with internet, like hacking. So I have to only download on one particular computer. So
Sí.
if you send me your story, I'll put it on one, and then I'll put the links on a different one. So.
Thank you so much. And my last question is, do you have beautiful drawings behind you? Are made in with a pencil?
They're big pen.
The big pen, okay.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. And have you ever drawn some Star Wars characters, for instance, for yourself?
No, I think I drew R2-D2 once for like a friend, or maybe at a signing because somebody wanted R2-D2 on their book. Yeah, I think so. I think I drew R2-D2, which was weird because I've never drawn R2-D2 before.
Never.
No, never. Do you? Do you do that?
Of course.
Oh, let me see. Do you have one nearby?
No, nearby, no. I used to do it as a child, but let me find some stuff and I'm going to show you.
I would love that.
And what is your favorite character in Star Wars?
Oh, boy. Well, I loved Carrie Fisher very, very much.
Yeah.
As a person. I actually cried when she died. And I never cry when celebrities die. But I so identified with her many difficulties in life and her honesty. She was so honest about who she was. I thought she was pretty fantastic that way.
Have you ever chance to meet her?
No, I never did. I never even saw her speak in public or anything like that. I think because of that, I really like her. I think it would be her in the first movie, in the original movie. But you know, Han Solo is an awful lot like my D's in so many ways. And there's something about the bad boy. I mean, the bad boy is always enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know, he's not completely honorable, and yet he has his honor. It's his honor. You know, I think as a culture, we're really interested in like The Sopranos. We're interested in characters who have their own honor and adhere to it.
Vito Corleone.
Exactly, like in The Godfather, you're saying, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Vito, yeah. Yeah, I think I enjoyed those 2 characters a lot. What about you?
I said Han Solo, of course, and Princess Leia, and of course, the best is Darth Vader. I mean, the best.
Darth Vader's awesome as a character. I mean, but you know, you didn't start to fall in love with him until you realized the depth of him.
Yeah,
exactly. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed these movies where I got to see his path. You know, really did.
No, me too. I agree with you completely. Well, Emil, really, I appreciate your time, your kindness, and please have let's keep in touch with this message. And I really appreciate your time. You're very inspiring. You know, I mean, your work is super universal. I'm here in Chile. We speak Spanish, and this work really touched me. You know, it's very inspiring. So thank you so much for this and your time. You're very kind.
I'm glad. Thank you, Ernesto.
Bueno,
give my love to Chile.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Thank you so much, Emil, and congratulations for your beautiful career.